to you guys. I never thought the day would come where I would have to talk about The Boy Who Cried Wolf to my 6-year-old. I thought that was going to wait a little bit because this is going to get interesting. So, as you know, my son was sick a lot. And we come to find out that I know it's a horrific story, but it proves a point because you can't do that and consistently lie for attention or to get out of things. Okay? So my son was lying, saying he didn't feel good to the nurse at the school. Not only that, he was lying to us at home about certain stuff, saying, "Mom, I didn't do this. Mom, I didn't do this. I didn't do this. She came at me. She came at me. She came at me," talking about my cat. He would show up with new scratches. I'm like, "How'd he do that? Did you mess with the cat?" And he's like, "No, I was just sitting there and it happened." Yeah, okay. Because 6-year-olds can't lie very well, as you know. All right, so at school, he decided he was going to feign illness. And the nurse was about to send him home until she watched him start acting like his normal self. And she's like, he was actually pretty good. Like, he almost got me there a minute. Oh, cool. A Brian Bromley came in. That's interesting. But, so I go on and I say I try not to keep it as brutal. I kind of try to dumb it down to a 6-year-old version for anybody that doesn't know about The Boy Who Cried Wolf story. It is a good life lesson about lying. Okay? And how lying to get attention, lying to do whatever you think is okay to do, can result to something really bad. So there was this little boy who loved to prank people and saying, "Hey, there's a wolf. Hey, there's a wolf." And the townspeople would get all together. This is what I told my son. Town people all together. And, "Hey, Devin." And they would go hunt this wolf. No wolf to be found. The little boy would be then laughing, saying, "I got you. There was no wolf." And he did this several times. So, after that, they stopped believing him because they couldn't trust him no more. So, one day, little boy happened to see a real wolf and started freaking out and alerting the townspeople, "Listen, there is a wolf. Please help me. Please help me." And they didn't come to his aid. And what do you think happened to that little boy? He's like, "What happened, Mom?" I was like, the wolf ate him. He was never seen again. Exactly. So the moral of the story that I gave my son was, don't lie for attention. Because he did do that. He actually did that to his classmates, thinking that his classmates, like when he acted like he was sick in school, he noticed he was getting more attention. So he'd be like, "I really don't feel good." And then when they would send him to the nurse, he kept up his lie. He's like, "I want to go home. I don't feel good." So, please don't. The moral of the story is, don't lie. Make shit up to get attention. That was the moral that I taught my son that day. He was not happy with that story. Pince! Oh, I know it's you, Pince. How you doing, man? It's really easy to tell when a 6-year-old's lying, trust me. Because they can only keep up the facade for I don't care if the child has ADHD or not. 6-year-olds have a very short attention span. And they will eventually crack very, very little. Like, they didn't even want to send him to the nurse because they noticed that he was, like, he'd be fine in between going to his friends saying, oh, I just don't feel good. And then he'd be like all cheerful and then go to his other friends. So they're not good liars. But just in case, because he's been sick, they sent him to the nurse and he tried to fake sickness. They knew that he wasn't sick. He didn't have a fever. Seemed to be typically fine. And when I found out that he did this and it was on his behavior sheet, that's when I told the story. I said, do you want to be like that little boy that cried wolf? He's like, no, I don't want to go missing. I was like, no, buddy. It was a story about gaining trust. And when you completely destroy the trust of the people and getting attention from people via lying is not the way to do it. That was my thing. I'm good, Mr. Snow Nose. Stressed out, but I'm good. Yeah, he has a behavior sheet. All the kids do in kindergarten. Just in this particular class. I think that this is a specialized class. I'm really starting to think that because they don't have like super duper high expectations like they did with him last year when he attempted kindergarten. This year they work with him. They have patience for him, and that's amazing. It's not special education per se. It's more geared towards behavioral. So that's a good thing. So he got like every single child in that class got a behavior sheet. And it goes red, yellow, green. So, and it's in different, there's 6 different categories. Like I kept my hands to myself. I stayed in my seat. I did my work. I did good at lunch. And then there's 2 others. I don't remember. But red for bad, or not good choices, as they call it. Yellow for he could have done better. He was good, but could have done better. And green for doing spectacular. And he got on Friday 5 greens and 1 yellow. 5 greens and 1 yellow. I'm incredibly proud of him. He has come a long way. Like first 3 days of fucking kindergarten, all reds. All reds. And I think a lot of it, I do think he has ADHD, but academically, he's fine. He's right with the other kids, if not ahead, with reading and math. He's really good at math. I've never seen that. He is extremely good at math and I figured with reading, because I read to him every night. I've read to him every single night since he was able to understand stories. So, if you're wondering what this is above my eye right here, this is called obsessive picking. So, when I am very, very anxious,